and since you mentioned that hurricane or typhoon, it's been an incredible disaster in China. I don't know whether you follow that or
Oh
not.
yeah, with the flooding.
Major flooding in many cities. Um, even the Forbidden City was flooded in Beijing. And then lots of small villages and farms wiped out. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Maui.
It's really
Okay.
a hassle. It's all over the world. Things are happening.
I know. It's like our photos are going to be things that you can't see anymore. Or reporting history.
Joshua Tree is
Yes.
devastated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, when did that happen?
Like last week or the week before.
Yeah, major fire in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
It attacked the root system.
Oh,
I didn't hear that was in Joshua Tree though.
yeah.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. Or in the Mojave Desert, and I know a lot of Joshua trees were destroyed. Okay. This I took on the road to Lahaina. Lahaina's a major city in Maui. Okay. This was at one of the restaurants. They had some cultural exhibits, and I thought the shells were kind of interesting, and the wooden statue. Okay, this was taken at sunset, and I used the flash, just looking out the water. I probably should have cropped it a little bit there. And then this is without the flash, same time, just flash and no flash.
Made a difference.
Yeah, made quite a difference. And then this is, I was sitting out at the balcony eating breakfast the first morning we were there. And that was my view. It just looked so magnificent that I.
Nice view.
Okay. Okay, these are the banyan trees. I'm going to go back to the poster and I'll tell you the highlights. This is out in front of the courthouse. It started with one banyan tree, you can see right here. And then the roots, the tree has aerial roots, and those aerial roots grow into thick trunks and they reach the ground and they start supporting the canopy. And then so there's 16 of these trunks now in the center. It was the original one was planted in 1873, and it was intended to be a park where it could be a shady place where people could sit and get away from the hot sun. And the shape of it was due to many years of tender care by the residents of the Lahaina community. There's lots of birds there in the evening. And hopefully that's still there. Lahaina is where the fire is. And I was reading that a lot of the historic buildings have been destroyed by this present fire. And that's the courthouse in the back. You can imagine that started with one tree and all of this shade is now provided. Okay, Maui is overall very arid. It's more desert-like, as you can see. It's not the lush Hawaiian foliage that we're used to. And these were sugar canes. This is on the way. We went to a cacao farm. We went on a tour there, and this is on the best trip up there. The sugar cane died out because there were fights over the water rights, and sugarcane area lost, as you can see. So it died out. It's some more of the dead sugarcane was there previously. And so there was a man named Gunnar Valkes. He made his fortune with a company called Biosite, and they're the ones that were responsible for creating the home pregnancy test. And so he made quite a bit of money on that. His company got bought out, and so he retired early to Maui. He spent a lot of time golfing and kite surfing. And then he met a man named Dan O'Dwardy, who was a botanist, who showed him the nuances of cacao. And so the two of them decided to set up a cacao farm. Well, you can see from all this arid area, it's not conducive to cacao because cacao needs a lot of shade and moisture. So what they did was they built a protective agroforest around it. So first they got around the area, they created the agroforest. That's part of the agroforest over on the left. That's a neem tree that's to help as a wind barrier. That's a banana tree. I'm not sure. I think that might provide some fertilization. And then these are the flowers of the cacao. These are some cacao trees. And then these are some of the pods. They have a lot of different varieties of cacao there. This tree up here is called the Madre de Cacao. It provides the shade that's needed for the cacao farm to survive. This is a variety of cacao from Trinidad. That's close up of the cacao pod. This is a view of the whole farm, looking down. Another view. This is Lanai in the background, the island. And this is where they ferment it. And then they have a little tree house where you climb up here, and then they you have chocolate tasting. They give you like 8 different squares of cacao to try. That's another view of up the stairs to the cacao tasting.
Cacao is a form of chocolate?
Yes, it is
Oh.
chocolate.
Oh,
Yeah, the cacao plant is what's used to make the cocoa for the chocolate.
Just don't store your cacao the same place you store your caca.
Oh.
Steve,
Okay, the next day we went to the pineapple plantation. These are young pineapple plants. Takes 10 months to get to a pineapple. This is a pineapple flower. They're pollinated by bats.
hmm.
And that's top view of the flower. Those these will be picked in about 3 days, so they're almost ripe. These are Maui gold pineapples. They don't have this, they don't survive that long, so they're probably not shipped that much. I think they're mainly for use fresh fruit in Hawaii. And this is the packing, the processing center. There are chickens and roosters everywhere in Maui. The theory is there were plantations, sugar plantations back in the 1800s, and when those plantations shut down, some of the chickens and roosters were just set free. They say hurricanes. They got set free from the hurricanes, and they're just wild everywhere. They're very colorful too. Okay, we went to the Kula Botanical Gardens. That's the red tea plant. Whoops. Red tea, it's native to Hawaii. Okay, that is the dragon tree.
Well, sign. Huh?
And then that's a riverbed. This is a grotto. Let's see, it goes in a little ways. And this is a saucer magnolia. That's an amaryllis. That's called a pigtail anthurium. That's an orchid. Some ducks. Ducks in the water there. Bansia, it's part of the Protea family. That's another part, that's a king Protea. It's another king Protea. That's powder puff from Bolivia. This is a low-bred Protea. It's in South Africa, from South Africa. Okay, we were staying in Kanapali, and Black Rock Bay is there. It's a place you can go snorkeling, but it's very rough. I kind of need something not so rough, so we went looking around for other places. We saw this Honolulu Bay. I took some pictures. We didn't go down there. That's the stairway to go down there. But we did find Makalua Beach, and you park along the outside. There's some parking there, and you walk for about 10 minutes into a rainforest to get to the beach. So that was really kind of special. You can see chickens in the riverbed. Part of the rainforest. And
Wow.
you're walking through all this to get to the beach. And then this is the beach. It's all rocky. You know, you sit on rocks, but the water was a lot calmer. And I was happier there. And you can see again all the chickens. Another chicken. That's another view walking into that rainforest. Oop. This was a church we went to in Lahaina. And this sunset at Kanapali. Another chicken at the Manalua beach. Chickens. Oh, the babies here. That one's really pretty. Then the last day we were there, in the foothills, there was a fire. And then by evening, the air was smoky. A lot of the people that worked in the shops and the restaurants, they live up in this area. So they were trying to get home if they could. Some of the people had to leave the foothills and stay in town. I think our hotel put some people up that in the empty rooms that had to evacuate because of the fire. Let's see the fire here. This is what it looked like at night. You see the fire still blazing. And I guess that's the last one.
So there was a fire going on when you were there. and
Yeah,
that-
but it was in the foothills. It didn't affect the town. This one seems more severe.
Wow.
Yeah. And I read that some of the historic buildings in Lahaina have been damaged.
Not fun being in a fire.
Say that again, Larry.
I was living in Laurel Canyon
Unknown caller.
and the fire started behind me, behind us, swept over us, and then went up the hill, and I watched houses burn down and
Oh,
trees explode.
mm.
I was on the roof,
Oh, God.
sprinkling with a water hose.
Mm-hmm.
If you were looking forward to seeing cars, I can give you a car show.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's see.
Do you want to keep recording or no?
Oh, probably
Yeah.
not. Huh? I don't know.
Before
right.
you start, Steve, before you start, I want to ask Kathryn about all the chickens there. Since they're not like in the cage, do they still lay eggs?
I believe so. Yeah, there were babies there. So,
Yeah.
oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I didn't see
It
eggs
must be
around.
noisy in the mornings.
Yeah, well, we didn't hear them from the
I just
hotel.
wonder if there's so many, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, they were all over, you go certain places and you just see them walking around, like you might see cats here or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anything
Yeah.
else? Okay. This is from 2011, so very early on in my latest in my digital life. And this is John Force has a facility here in Yorba Linda, and he has a car show every year. So yeah, really, he has as all of you know, John Force is a multiple time funny car champion, and his daughter races Top Fuel. So these are some pictures I took at it.
Hmm,
I like this one.
nice.
The rigs that some people have and come up with are amazing. But
Oh, that was a little statue.
yeah,
Oh, I was wondering if it was your dog.
he put that's part of his display.
Oh,
That truck was called a pug nose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of the part of my racing photography is a classic car race at Laguna Seca. So I'll be showing the past car that I'll be showing that on the racetrack.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
mhm.
Yeah, that's his building. This is a pretty interesting car. A Farmall tractor. Oh, this is the what do you call the Nash, the like the bathtub Nash. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Nash Metropolitan, maybe? Anybody remember those?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And here he's put a Hemi engine in it. Oh yeah, there's your another one of the transporters.
Double decker.
Yeah.
Wow.
$8.3 liters. That's a big engine.
With no weight.
Yeah, that's an old-fashioned dragster when they finally figured out that sitting over the rear axle wasn't very smart.
I never liked photographing drag racing. It was just too noisy and fumes.
And this is a flathead Ford, and it looks like either Duntov or there's another company made special heads for it.
Mhm.
Okay, this should be encouraging because I haven't looked at these in a long time, and I think my photography has improved quite a bit since then. 1959 Chevrolet. We
Wow.
had one when I was growing up, not in that color, but we had ours in some god awful color. I can't remember what it's called, but it was two-tone. Two-tones were really big back then. Uh-oh, what's happening here? I'm getting Okay, fire department. That's a 308 Ferrari, like what was that guy on TV from Hawaii? He drove one.
Car?
Huh?
The kit car?
No, it's not a kit car.
No, no. From the TV show.
There was a TV show, a guy in Hawaii, he's kind of like a detective or something.
Yeah.
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI. There you go. Well, I'm gonna that pretty much. I mean, there's just more and more of that. I'm gonna switch to something else here that it's also car related. It's a little MP4 that I made. Let's see, Corvette. This is where I just collected all my Corvette pictures. I had a 64 Corvette and a 66. I really like the looks of these old ones. That's pretty cool. This is, I'm not sure what year that is. There's a pretty radical Corvette. And I think what this person did is this is a kind of a resto mod. It's a fairly new chassis, and the body was built to look like the old Corvette. That's what my 64 looked like, except mine was red. This is a Corvette Grand Sport replica. GM started the Corvette Grand Sport program. Was it 63 or 4? And they only built 7 of the Grand Sports before the head honchos or bean counters at GM shut down the program. So those 7 Grand Sports are the most valuable Corvettes in the world. And a company called Super Performance or Super Performance, they will sell you a replica of one. Come on, why is this tagging up on me like this? Yeah. Okay, escape. Oh, that's because that's all I have on those. And then why are my Laguna? I had a bunch of Laguna Seca pictures, but for some reason they're not showing up. So at Huntington Beach, I went to a Cobra show there, which is pretty interesting. Makes me want to buy a Cobra. But they don't make a very good daily driver.
Picture.
Yeah. 8 throttle bodies, fuel injection. That's pretty cool.
Here, we'll settle it right here, but they did $400 to,
Mhm.
that's what I'm trying to figure out, what happened?
And a friend of mine had, let's see if his car comes up. Friend of mine had his Cobra there.
She's talking about, oh, she said, I don't know what she's talking about, that was never said, but it was said. Okay, so tell me about that.
Well, this person came up to me and said, she flashed me a badge, which I'm trying to find out anyway. This person was, because he, impersonated an officer. Just
Do you,
Hmm. Nice.
said, well, this is ridiculous.
Not sure what this guy was doing. Looks like he made himself a rain top or something. Yeah, you should recognize Huntington Beach.
There, and in order for me to make a police report, he was supposed to file. So he got very upset and he left. So it was left with just me and my aunt. My aunt-
Okay, let's see. Trying to remember.
They're not in the house, but when they took my car, I don't know what they had been doing.
Hmm.
Currently, I have some big car.
There's my friend Frank,
Mhm.
and that's his Cobra.
When I wasn't there,
He has since sold it. He didn't even tell me he was selling it.
Hmm.
I probably wouldn't couldn't have afforded it anyhow, but it was well built.
he wouldn't tell me why. So I said to him, I'll just go to my insurance. Okay, so when she gets there, why is it you don't want to involve the police then?
the police had already come here. They came and
No, you told me that was somebody impersonating.
no, the police were there.
So did they do
So
a
if I
police
was,
This event is put on every year by a company called Factory 5 Racing, which is one of the top Cobra kit makers.
what they did when they got there?
they just asked us everything.
She asked if you could settle that.
So, okay, a Cobra. I ate a rat.
Hmm.
Did you ever contact the person who actually?
I could get down a little lower on the ground back then. And there's Frank and his wife, Kathy.
Later on that night, my mom then told me to come with her back to her house because they don't live together. So I went to her house. I slept over.
And I forget what year this was, but again, looking at old pictures, I'm not happy with the way I process these.
Stress on me.
But, had a band there.
Who's the person with you? This is my witness. She was
I
on.
like this
One
one.
thing with redoing your photos is that with the updates in Lightroom and Photoshop, you
Yeah.
get much better results.
Yep, I've been doing some of that, the ones that are I consider important that I want to make look better. I haven't went through any of these yet, but
So, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about, you taped a couple of conversations. Yeah. Because my aunt told, Mr. DeSomer that she gave me $40. Did you tell him that you had given her $40? Yes. Had you? No. Why'd you tell him? He had to give me $40. Why did you take it? You stole the $40? I explained it to him. Well, no, I want you to explain it to me. He wasn't giving it to me.
Stefan, you got your TV on?
somebody does.
Not me, nope.
Oh. Stefan?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see.
No.
Well, I am going to leave our group.
Me
Okay,
today,
that-
Petey?
This is an unusual. What is this?
This was a GM built several of these many years ago. I forget exactly what year, and they were supposed to be the truck and RV of the future. There was this truck version and there was an RV version, and so this is out up at Paris at that railroad museum.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Foreman, I think went with me here.
Correct.
Yeah. And they happened to be having a truck show that day, so
Yeah, I remember that was, yeah.
no, it was kind
I
of
forgot about that. It's been a while ago.
yeah.
I thought I'd seen that truck before. Okay.
I like this is a good looking truck, an old GMC, where some amazing restorations.
Remember that.
This was a truck company that didn't do very well, and I can't remember. I blew up the nameplate here to see what the name was, and looked it up. You can see it's pretty crudely made. Looks like something done in a shop class on sheet metal bending.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Auto car. I think these are all Kenworths.
Yes.
Somebody got a lot of money.
Lots.
But those cars, those trucks have got to be expensive. Yeah. See on this one, you can kind of right about here. I probably shouldn't see when that was a reflection off the headlight into that metal, and so when I first made it a black and white, I thought, well, that looks ugly. So I cheated.
Interesting. Very nice.
That's Peterbilt.
That's my truck pictures.
I have a short story, a little story about John Force. I used to sell him his pit crew these off-brand tennis shoes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. He had his championship rings. Those things are like big giant rocks on his hand. I never seen a ring so big and diamonds. But he used to come. I was assistant manager in the store down in Westminster, and he would come in all the time and buy like 12 pairs of shoes for his pit crew.
Wow.
Yeah, I've met him about three or four times while I was down there. Nice guys.
Oh yeah.
Super nice.
Very
Super
nice, very talkative. I don't,
Yes.
you can see his house from where I live up on the hill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Super nice guy.
He and I used to belong to the same gym, and I saw him working out there, and I walk up to him and says, "Hi, John, I'm Steve." He says, "Hi," and I says, "I'm a car guy," and he says, and I says, "I'm Steve, and I'm a car guy," and he goes, "I'm a car guy too."
Yeah,
Very
great,
funny.
great guy.
This is a Ferguson tractor. That's what I grew up with, and started my farming career at about 7, driving that tractor. Ours look more like this. This one's got a funky front end. Actually, it's hard to tell. Ford made these under license too. Yeah, there's the Ford version of this, basically the same tractor.
Hmm.
And This is a more recent version of a Ferguson. Massey Harris bought Ferguson, so they become Massey Fergusons. Oh, look at the driver.
John Deere.
The John Deere, obviously. Farming has changed quite a bit since when I grew up. There. My dad, that was the first tractor my dad had. It was a Farmall F20 or F30. Well, that's an F20. He had an F30, slightly bigger. Yeah, but looked the same. Very crude. Comfortable seat though.
Hmm.
There's a newer one. There's Case. It's hard to keep track. These various companies have been bought out and names have changed.
Like a track.
Caterpillar for a while was making farm tractors, but it didn't work out well for them. There's a John Deere track version of a farm tractor. And my uncle had a John Deere like this. We called it the Putt Putt. Does anybody know why we called it the Putt Putt? No?
2-cylinder putt.
Because it had a two-cylinder engine with huge pistons running at a very low RPM. So when it was running, it was going put, 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 put. We could almost count every combustion. That's pretty impressive. That's got to be at least $500,000 would be my guess. There's a combine for harvesting. My brother-in-law has a combine about that size. I believe this is people would convert Model Ts into tractors. And I think that's what this one is.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is definitely a conversion car into tractor. These are some old Caterpillars. Seen their day. This is a Massey Harris. Massey Harris is the company that bought Ferguson and became Massey Ferguson. This is a get together of people with old tractors. There's an old Ferguson. That's my son and his wife. My son is on the left. And that's Shruti. She's from India. She's the reason we went to India recently. Minneapolis Moline. Oh, I used to love the Minneapolis Moline. The older ones were just huge displacement. They were brutes. Even in this small town, there's a lot of old farmers collecting tractors. is pulling that with a tractor. Now this one I'm not familiar with, the Co-op brand. I suspect it was made in Canada, but I'm a little vague on that. Look at this rig he's got pulling with his tractor. Yeah, Alice Chambers for years had a distinctive look. This is kind of deviated from that. I was offered a job by Alice Chambers once. So I went to their factory and I did not accept the job. It was so run down and archaic.
Huh.
Okay, oh, that's what would you call a treetop or fruit farm or whatever?
It's an orchard tractor.
Orchard. That's the orchard tractor.
They made that an address decoration, huh?
Yeah, this was actually in the city of Orange. These last three. All right, I've bored you enough. Let me get out of this.
Fantastic shots.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, Kathryn. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. All right. Well, see you guys. What happened to Kathryn? I had to admit her again. So in order to say goodbye. Okay, what's our plan for Friday? Kathryn's rejoining us now.
It'll probably be review.